All right, let's just jump right in because what we're about to look at, it's a real glimpse into how fast the face of war is changing.
Yeah, welcome to modern warfare. It's a simple line, right? But it's also pretty chilling, and it perfectly captures this huge shift that's happening on the battlefield. So check this out. The scene, it's just bizarre. You've got three Russian soldiers coming out of a building. Their hands are up. One of them looks like he's been wounded. You can see blood. But here's the crazy part. They aren't surrendering to other soldiers. No, they're surrendering to a robot, a machine with a gun pointed at them. And that one moment, well, it just makes you ask. Yeah, what is this thing? I mean, what kind of machine is taking a surrender on a battlefield? Let's break down the tech here, because this is wild. All right, section 1. So that robot in the video, it actually has a name. It's called the Droid TW, and believe me, it's a huge step forward for this kind of unmanned warfare. Okay, so first things first, let's get the terminology right. The Droid TW is what they call a UGV, which stands for Unmanned Ground Vehicle. The easiest way to think about it, it's basically a drone, but for the ground. You know, a robot you control from far away, designed to do all sorts of jobs. To give you a sense of scale, it's about the size of a washing machine. It's built by a Ukrainian company called DevDroid, and yeah, it's packing a 7.62 millimeter machine gun. But the really wild part isn't just the gun, it's the brain. It actually uses AI to identify targets all on its own. So you gotta understand, this is not just some remote-controlled car with a gun taped to it. It's way, way smarter than that. And here's where it gets really interesting, because this is a classic story of how tech evolves during a war. See, the Droid TW, its original job was supposed to be for a medical battalion. The whole idea was to use it to get wounded soldiers out of the line of fire. But, as we just saw in that footage, the Army has found a very different use for it, a much more direct combat role. So okay, that's one incredible story about one robot, but it makes you wonder, right? Is this Droid TW just a one-off thing, or is it a sign of something much, much bigger happening with robots in this war? And that's where this whole thing just blows up, because it turns out Ukraine isn't just playing around with these UGVs. Nope. According to research from the Jamestown Foundation, they've quietly become a world leader in this stuff. A world leader. I mean, the scale here is just staggering. Get this. We are talking about 200, not 2, not 20, but 200 different models of these ground robots being used right now by Ukraine's military. This isn't some little R&D project. This is a full-on, massive deployment. And, you know, it's just as wild where these things are coming from. A mind-blowing 99% of them are made right there in Ukraine. We're talking about 40 different local companies building these things. It's this huge homegrown industry that basically just popped up because it had to. It really shows you how incredibly fast their tech sector can move when it's under pressure. So, with 200 different models, what are they all doing? Well, pretty much everything you can imagine. They're like a Swiss Army knife for the battlefield. You've got your straight-up combat robots for firepower, you've got your kamikaze bots loaded with explosives, but then you also have the workhorses, you know? The heavy-duty ones that haul tons of supplies, and even robots that sneak around laying anti-tank mines. Which all leads to the big question, why? Why build this whole robot army? And this quote from the Jamestown Foundation really nails it. It's about sending a machine to do the jobs that are just too dangerous for a person. It's about saving lives by taking humans out of the direct line of fire on these super high-risk missions. So when you put all of this together, you realize something profound. What we're watching isn't just a war. It's a laboratory, a live, real-time experiment that is literally shaping what the future of war is going to look like. And let me be super clear here. This is not science fiction. This isn't some concept video. We are seeing actual footage on a regular basis of these robots in direct combat. They're taking on armored vehicles, they're fighting infantry. This is happening today, right now. And you can really see the tactical advantage this gives them. I mean, think about it. You're up against a much bigger opponent. So what do? You use these robots to solve your biggest problems. Worried about casualties? Send in a robot. Struggling with getting supplies to the front? A robot can do it. Need to take out a tank or a fortified bunker? Yep, there's a robot for that too. It gives them a real edge. And that really brings us back to the main point, the big takeaway. The source material called this a weird laboratory for modern warfare. And I think that's the perfect way to describe it. All the theories about robot armies, they're not theories anymore. They're being tested, they're being proven, and the whole field is being fast-forwarded at a terrifying pace. So, think about where we started. A single video of 3 soldiers surrendering to a machine. And now we know that's just the tip of the iceberg of this massive homegrown robot army that's changing all the rules. Which leaves us with one final and kinda unsettling question to chew on. If this is the front line of today, what comes next?